chime?
As long as everybody ready.
Yep.
There it is.
Yay!
That's
Man.
that doom chime.
The doomiest of chimes.
We are back with the April Fool's joke turned real thing.
How many of those you got now?
By popular demand.
It wouldn't be the first time, Emmy. We are back with Broke a Phone with Alex, Brandon, Chaz, Dan, Emmy, Haley, Jeff, Mal, Paul, Thomas, Tom, and myself. And I can't wait to see the wonderful creations everyone has written. It's going to be
You
wonderful.
mean here?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's kick it off with Mal.
Stardate 47634. Zavif has arrived on a new planet, Earth 2. He steps out of his spaceship and notices it's like Earth 1, except eternally in the groove in 70s. Zavix couldn't even travel a city block without seeing huge afros, wide pant legs, and an abundance of chest hair, and some funky, fresh dance moves. It was hell. Zavis hated the 70s. This was the worst gritty reboot of the world ever. I don't have enough credits to reset the simulation. Let me just fuck around and find out.
We forgot Mal can't legally say fuck. Sorry.
According to Thomas, Zavis checked his weapon and headed to the bartender. Give me a double shot, Zavis barked. I get it, because of your blaster, chuckled the bartender. No, seriously, this thing runs on alcohol. Please hurry. They are coming. Oh, go.
We're keeping his name.
The guards stormed into the bar and Zavis dumped all the alcohol into his bot RNB 43, Mother of Go. The trooper shouted as the robot started shooting lasers indiscriminately. RNB 43's laser pierced guard after guard, each praying to their god Go. Zavis laughed and made his escape under the cover of laser fire and showers of alcohol. See you later, losers, he shouted behind him. Then his face met the stone facade of St. Frank's preschool. Though clever with booze and lasers, Zavix wasn't a great driver. Zavix put down his whiskey and his laser gun. He fell to his knees and cried in front of the preschool. It is I, Zavix, who is the loser, he wept. And he wept harder and harder. And as his mouth and nose were choked with the secretions of his mucosa, his wails turned to gargles and he slumped in total abasement.
Oh,
God.
But though it sucked for him, some brilliant businessmen decided they could use his endless tears to irrigate the desert. Soon Death Valley became an agricultural mecca. Before long, a vibrant desert civilization sprung up, a town with its own art, culture, and economy. The businessmen opened a bazaar to serve the community. The bazaar was ahead.
It truly
Lovely.
was.
Wow, we kept Zavix for 3/4 of that.
Yeah.
We lost the 70s immediately.
well, he hated it anyway.
Yeah, Haley, I can't. Do you have something against the 70s?
I like how I did gritty reboot, and that really fits with Earth 2, so I'm very proud of that.
That was great.
I had to insert the word gargles. For reasons that will forever be unknown to the watchers of this video.
Let's go with Dan's book next.
Thomas's deep sea expedition seemed to go swimmingly until the submarine's pressure gauge started to quickly rise. He knew he didn't have much time to react. This is fine, he stated. I hope everyone is enjoying the stream, because this might be the last. What a way to go! Streaming deep sea fishing games from a failing submarine. No! The audience shouted back. We don't like it. It's dark, the pressure is immense, and there's too many teeth. You shan't have our precious bits.
M-dash.
I decided I really needed the bits, so I called up Joe, the local shady dentist. He knew I needed bits, so he came straight over to pull teeth from the What? So I came straight over to pull teeth from the dark being. I got so many bits that I was able to become the top donator on the live dental surgery Twitch stream, and I got to pick what tooth got pulled.
That is the future of Twitch.
chose his central incisor. Gone in an instant it was. And that was my reward for donating $9,500 in bits. Ruining my favorite streamers.
I'm willing to sell out at any moment.
It's all falling into place, Bezos chuckled. Or should I say out of place?
I am so scared right now.
Bond stared across the underground layer and fixed Bezos with a sardonic grin. Exactly right. What goes up must come down. Bezos blanched in self-realization. Alexa 3.0 was... Oh my god. Alexa 3.0 was gonna save us all. And you've ruined it. Bezos saw the share price falling. Seemed like the prime time to sell. The 00 unwrapped the piano wire. Bezos' eyes lit up. Alexa, she was a thing of the past. The next big thing was Alex. Somewhere, Senator Larry Craig shivered.
Oh no.
Jeff walked across the room and looked at the device. Alexa, he paused. Self-destruct. The machine rattled and soon after exploded. Alexa was no more.
Didn't want to touch Alex.
I'll turn on my own goddamn lights, Bezos, or no one will. As wreckage fell down from the ceiling, pinning Jeff to the floor, he allowed himself a self-satisfied smile. The end.
Whoa!
That was wild.
It went a long way from us.
That went
All
all over the place and
movies
involved
in one.
like half of us.
Bunch of cameos there.
All-star cast.
Wait, hold on. Is this? Okay, this is still the Thomas book. I was like, wait, is this the same book that started on the submarine? I had to scroll down to double check.
This is Dan's book.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a good book.
Oh, but it starred Thomas, right?
Yeah.
We went places.
Dan's book starring Thomas, Alex, and Jeff.
That was wild.
It's starring
And
Jeff
Jeff
as Bezos.
Next up is me. Fire the retro rockets, Admiral Giraffe shouted. The stars shuddered outside the viewport. Acceleration! The crew glanced at each other nervously. The dangerous mission had begun. The vessel began to sputter. Status report, Sergeant, demanded Giraffe. We're losing power to the engines, she replied. Hey, where's that pain-in-the-ass jackal anyway? He was court-martialed out of the Zoo Navy. But don't worry, we've just brought in Goose to replace him. Suddenly, all eyes shot to the door as a thunderous sound boomed from them. The door itself slid across the floor. Silhouetted in the door frame, Goose.
Goose.
The Goose lit a cigar and walked into the room. Honk, honk, honk! The poker players knew that the Goose meant business. Goose's feathered wing hovered over his holstered gun. Everybody knew what the Goose wanted. Everybody eyed the stacks of bread at their tables. The only question was what would leave the room and whether it would be alive. Amos had an idea. Don't resort to violence. I'll reason with the Goose. He used his morphing powers to turn himself into a goose. He waddled closer. They tore him limb from limb. We held our breath. Suddenly, a giant spectral goose rose from Amos's corpse. They fanned their wings ominously. Geese, listen to me. This is madness. Please go home. Honk, honk, honk! The geese chanted as they stopped attacking us. Bill bite marks all over our bodies. The giant, spectral goose gave us a solemn nod and led his people away. I fell to my knees as the honking faded into the distance. Trespassing into the spectral goose's territory was a mistake. I know that now. However, I still hadn't retrieved the hoagie. Clawing my way over the hill, I spotted it. The Hoagie Temple. I heard a distant honking. More of them now. Sentries. It was now or never. I sprinted up the stairs and asked the monk, "What is the best sandwich?" He chuckled. "Every sandwich, my child." Sentries broke in and shot me in the back. I fell dead, smiling.
Wow.
Well, the goose got a gun again.
Wow. Wow.
The sentence, where was that?
I loved the inclusion suddenly of Amos, who had morphing powers and then died immediately.
Mal's sentence of trespassing into the spectral goose territory was a mistake I don't think has ever been written before.
Oh, God.
Perfect.
Thank you all for that book. That was great. I loved
That
it.
was a good book.
Up next is Paul.
Oh,
Wow.
Tuesday was the day that my skeleton decided to leave my body and set off on its own for a life of adventure. I don't know what my skeleton did on that adventure because it left me in a pile of flesh and organs at the HEB checkout. Now I can't get my frozens home in a timely manner. I asked
Casual
for
annoyance.
one bag for my lean cuisines and another for my entrails. Thankfully, I could muster enough magic to animate my blobby self into the plastic. But how to get home?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Suddenly,
Oh.
I was struck with an idea. What if I summon an imp to carry me home? Soon I'd be microwaving my lean cuisine and chilling in a bubble bath. I waved my magic bubble pipe and cast Find Familiar. Being a warlock was amazing. I mean, sure, I had to sell my soul to a devil, but the devil was hot, and now I had imps to carry me wherever I wanted. My imps lifted me with ease. I could see everything from up here. The castle was a bit far for the imps, but a woodcutter's cabin? Oh baby, we getting some wood for spells.
Thomas. What?
Imps, onto the cabin, I commanded. Gleaming with joy, I gripped my axe as the wind blew past my hair. Let's pay Mr. Woody a visit. He won't forget.
Brandon.
The imps skipped near my feet, chanting my idea back to each other excitedly. Gonna pay Mr. Woody a visit, one cackled. He'll never forget it if he lives, another. Suddenly, one of the imps pulled out an adorable little pop gun and shot the other two in the head, splattering their brains on the floor. He pulled off his mask. It was Sprinbka.
It's the best D&D game ever.
And with that, history was changed forever. Springs returned, but they were Sprinbkas. Everyone began talking as though they had rocks in their mouth with no idea why. When people went to dentists to ask about the rocks in their mouth, the dentist always said, "There are no rocks." That's just how we talk now. Dentists never charged for this.
oh, that's nice.
The rocks would eventually become boulders, making it increasingly harder to speak. They developed rock talk, a new way to communicate, by scraping flint against their rock teeth. The
Wow.
end.
My
What
All I
favorite
could think of was I had no idea.
my favorite part of
around
this
there.
was that Paul clearly had a vision at the start, and Tom was like, "Okay, no."
I really no-butted that story.
I just like
Like,
imagining.
But here's the thing: if the skeleton went off to have an adventure, then the person telling the story wouldn't know about it.
I mean, it totally worked. It's just as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I see what Tom has done with this." It was great.
I like imagining the blobby bag of organs chilling in a bubble bath.
I don't.
Relaxing.
This is like not my book, obviously, but it's like there's D&D, there's Sprinbaka, there's imps. What
There's a
else?
lot happening.
I had no
It's
idea
made
what
personality in a book.
I had no idea what Sprindica was.
this really transformed since the skeleton left the body. It was immediately implied that there was magic, and then just magic came and went.
Friendica is my special son that I drew and champed up.
I see.
There was suddenly a castle.
My icon. That's he drew my icon.
I was like, what are the phonetics of this? It sounds like spring. Then I found the Mystery Science Theater 3000 skit, and that was the end of it.
Alex, your turn.
Sir Thomas, the kingdom is in peril. Thomas rolled over, stepping over his buxom damsel and out of bed. Donning his hauberk, he shouted out the door, "What? Fucking what?" It's New Year's Eve, and we've lost all the calendars for the year after next. You have a year and a day to complete a quest to find them, or nobody will know what date it is. Said Grandpa Clockgore, the Time Lord.
Oh.
So we got to work developing a manufacturing company for calendars, even though more calendars would be printed later by other companies.
Oh no.
But what about all the time disturbances, Grandpa Clockgore? I asked. It doesn't matter, Jerry. People are stupid and will buy anything. Even calendars with pictures of merkins.
Oh.
Well, I better start taking photos of merkins then. I'll set up a studio space so they can do all sorts of photo shoots. That's gold, Jerry, gold, Grandpa Clockgore shouted. The Merkins photo studio had a bit of a hairy start, but with a little pruning, it became the Rose of Black Forest, Colorado.
Oh.
That's the worst thing I've ever written in my life, and I have no apologies.
And like its namesake, like little tufts of artificial hair in private places, franchises began popping up everywhere, giving everybody cover for their questionable portraiture. Full frontals used to be embarrassing for me, said local Maine haberdasher Salvatore Trescott. And while they still are, now I have a conversation starter with my clients.
Huh.
He ran the best damn haberdashery in Ohio, although admittedly there wasn't much competition. At least he had a gimmick. His clients loved the way he did a sick backflip every time he made a sale.
Oh, no,
That man's real name? Albert Einstein. The end.
Haley, what the hell?
Anyway, epilogue. Writing the theory of relativity only took like a day, but the 720 heel flip would take some time. Al's life was pretty sweet now. But what was next? A big ass hamburger. Yum.
Really good epilogue.
I don't know why I thought it was the last book.
That story was a trip.
It makes it better.
I am shocked at how long Grandpa Clockgore lasted for.
I like how he just turned into Kramer.
Well,
I'm so sorry. I don't know why I typed the end. I really wanted it to end there.
Chaos is the best part.
that was a great book.
It worked.
Thank you,
it
Alex, for reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Tom
sorry.
Fox.
Okay,
sorry
so
for introducing-
Wait, it said Maine. Why did I say Ohio?
So
I was
before I
wondering
get into
that
this, I wrote mine as though we were doing a normal round of broken picture phones, so I apologize for that. Manatee and Manatee playing golf using a manatee. I typed it in my browser and chuckled. This would be a good game of broken picture phone. I immediately got a drawing prompt. This had to be one of Alex's phrases. The standard mushroom has an ancient bracelet specifically for crying. How was I going to draw this? Okay, I've half-assed two of them. I can open up Photoshop for this one. This is gonna take me a little bit. Go grab a snack. Yes, indeed, Photoshop is the only acceptable tool with which to fully ask the particular piece of artwork at issue.
Oh.
Especially since they added the enhanced butt filter. I was happy to be microtransaction to death in the name of jiggle physics. But the developers never conceived someone would buy so many jiggle gems. And the shaking became too powerful. Seismologists hated me.
Oh.
We were always slightly worried that the microtransactions would destroy the world, and here was that same scenario right at our doorstep. EA had doomed us all. I had to use the bathroom so badly. One $10 transaction at a time. I opened loot crate after loot crate, hoping for a toilet token. My account balance dwindled. This was it. I finally got it with my last $10. I got that fucking toilet token. It appeared before me and I sprayed urine everywhere. The digital toilet, the digital wall, everywhere. Relief.
Oh.
My neighboring toilet pals threw shady glances in my directions, but I didn't care. I never needed to pee again. I had achieved enlightenment, nirvana eternal.
Well, this book was
Standard
different.
game of broken picture phone.
That
Oh boy.
So the moral of the story is don't write picture prompts for a story-based game.
Oh no, this is great.
Also, in the future, Chaz is gonna sell Broken Picture Phone to EA, where there's gonna be $10 microtransactions for you to use the bathroom.
I love it.
Jiggle physics.
Oh yeah, and all the jiggle physics.
As Samantha walked through the creaky old house, flashlight in hand, she could hear the faint whine of an otherworldly spirit. She gripped the flashlight tighter. She heard another murmur, then a thundering boom echoed through the home. Sam dropped her flashlight. Taxes, it wailed. Structured settlement, it belted. But Sam was not intimidated by the lumbering mass of legalese. Lump sum or bust, she screamed. Bob from Publishers Clearinghouse was not amused. He reached for his revolver, but Sam darted her eyes toward a nearby window. Out came J.G. Wentworth, shouting, "It's her money, and she needs it now." An enormous foot emerged from the window, making a thunderous thud when it impacted the ground. The rest of the body followed. J.G. Wentworth was coming. You rang? Wentworth was clad in golden coats and jewels, a checkbook in hand. 3 tiny lawyers followed him. Please, everything's tied up, and she's got some bills. But Wentworth wouldn't listen. He opened up the checkbook and wrote check after check after check, all in the name of philanthropy. The tiny lawyers sobbed uncontrollably. Please, Sarah! They wept with their tiny, tiny tears. But Wentworth laughed and laughed, his pen hand flailing madly, charity blessing, ink splattering all over the beaver dam.
Whoa.
What?
Sorry. There's a beaver dam now. The beavers started floating, and the crowd started walking away, their eyes filled with the littlest tears. Don't cry, said Jackal. Celebrate. Celebrate these damn beavers can fly. Jackal, I said, don't be an idiot. Those beavers are swimming, not flying. Nothing was saved here. This was a waste of life. Dejected, I destroyed my monstrous beavers. I had worked so hard to take over Montana.
Was that the world's first piece of J.G. Wentworth fan fiction?
It certainly won't be the last.
I love that conclusion.
Oh my god.
I thought, because in my brain I was still in like the haunted house mode, I was thinking of like the Resident Evil games where like Mr. X comes out, but it's just J.G. Wentworth. I really hope that's a mod somewhere.
Oh my god.
Or a fan art.
Whew.
It just says it's an
like-
old house. It never said it wasn't, a beaver's house.
You know what? That is my mistake. I should have clarified a creaky old non-beaver house.
Next time.
That final line was, mwah.
Yeah.
I had worked so hard to take over Montana.
It's really good. Good book. Good work, everyone.
Oh, man.
Haley, you are next.
How am I supposed to follow that up?
Oh, God.
All right, we never anticipated how the world would change when you replaced every police officer with a magical girl. Perverts. Oh.
Dumb box.
Oh. I mean, I was hoping for like a cool action movie, but this is fine. Perverts were absurdly easy to catch in the act as they kept trying to touch the magical girl officers when they were transforming. Murderers, however, kept getting away. Why do these murderers keep escaping? The police chief asked. He sighed and climbed to his 1949 Volvo. Okay.
What?
The car had a long history of solving crimes while the police were asleep. Nobody knew that every police chief that drove it was a bumbling idiot whose car was secretly the genius. Once, when Officer Rick Thickman drove the car into a cactus patch and blew out all 4 tires, the city saw a 30-fold uptick in homicides when the car was in the shop. Officer Rick Thickman was on the case. He would figure out how the car caused that many homicides while it was in the shop. He was mildly concerned. Ain't it something? Bloody thing? Oh, God. Never been. Oh, boy.
I think now he got started and I got 10 bloody bodies on my hands.
Thank you, Tom.
There we go. Thickman was stumped. That's when his gaze shifted to the pool of oil on the ground.
I had to make up for my prompt in this one.
Oil was too thin on its own to lubricate the infernal machine, but the nearby pool of blood made the gears in Thickman's head turn. Time to bring these fluids together.
Ooh.
The low, malevolent hum grew both louder and stranger as crude and blood congealed into an ungodly sentience-granting sludge. Oh. Thickman drank deep and was reborn. Unfortunately, Thickman was reborn as a baby. Thickbaby, if you will.
I will.
So it was another 18 years before he was technically Thickman again. He'd grow up to be bigger, stronger, thicker. He'd live up to his name. Thinkman would return.
Thinkman.
Man.
Thinkman.
Oh no!
And so
Oh my God, Dan.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so would his brother, Thickman. Both he and Thickman would star in the next big Mega Man sequel, Mega Man 3, Think Thick.
Wow.
Saved it for me. Thank you.
Oh, sure,
Not only did Dan save
love
it, he tied in the Mega Man reference to Thomas, who had just written. That's really great.
Incredible.
Oh man.
Oh my God. It came a long way from Magical Girl Cops.
Wow, I started it somewhere else.
Thickman drank deep and was reborn.
Hate that one.
I also love Thickbaby. Thickbaby is great.
Thickbaby killed me.
Thickbaby
Thickman?
is like in the hardcore running for single word title of this video because this is real good.
Thickman drank deep and was reborn was worse than the sentence you chose not to put.
That's where gargling came in?
No.
No. Anyway, excellent book, Haley. Excellent book, everyone.
That one had layers.
Jeff is next.
All right. So I'm in control, right? I've never done this before.
You are in control.
Show next page. Okay. The Advanced Inertial Reference Sphere establishes an absolute orientation in 3D space. It always knows where it is. Amazing, isn't it, Agent Bong? With this sphere, you'll take out the rebel base in no time. Jim's bong stared vacantly back at Q as a drop of saliva slowly alighted on his lapel.
What?
Jim's bong took the sphere from Q and began dribbling it like a basketball as he continued to dribble on his suit. What in God's name are you doing, Ancient Bong? Shouted Q. I'm getting psyched up, Bong clapped back. Just then he slipped, and the sphere shattered on the concrete floor. They looked at the ground, then met each other's shocked gazes. You know that was Alexander's ash orb. His spirit is set free. You've really fucked up. Bong gave an exaggerated shrug. Did I do that? Bong, you're an idiot, and no one likes you. Stop with the Steve Urkel bullshit. You fucked the whole world breaking Alexander's ash orb. What the fuck, dude? Did I do that? He said, about 2 seconds before his face got punched for being a smartass.
Did I do that?
Oh my god. You're not Steve Urkel, shouted the receptionist. You deserve that punch. Now enjoy this punch, and handed Daryl a cup of juice. Oh, hi, Daryl. I didn't know that it was spiked with PCP.
Oh my god.
Daryl drank it down in one gulp. The PCP coursed through his veins. In front of the receptionist's eyes, his skin turned green and he grew in size. Daryl smashed.
Home.
Daryl Smash, yes, sir. If you could just please sit there, we will be with you momentarily. Daryl blinked. This wasn't how this was supposed to go. Just who was this person? Daryl threw himself into the chair. It was the most uncomfortable chair. It had only 3 legs and it was so scratchy. Daryl sat and thought, just who was this person?
You out-chazzed Chaz.
Suddenly it hit him. It was his dad. Oh, Dad, you were always such a wacky one with your wacky stunts. One way to bond.
I was really hoping we'd hit a feedback loop of, did I do that? You're not Steve Urkel. Did I do that? You're not Steve Urkel.
Steven, don't you mean one way to bong?
Yeah. If only I had known. I like that
9 pages back, there was a character named Bong.
I like how Mao included just who was this person without any understanding of what was being talked about at all.
The bizarre was ahead.
Excellent. Well, Jim's Bong certainly had an adventure. Emmy, you're up next.
I have a theme when I do these, I guess. I just start with the startings of classic books. So this is the start of 1984. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. If I was a simpler man, I would have been terrified. However, I was not intimidated by military time or number superstitions. 13 o'clock was mundane, ordinary. 14, fine. The dial kept spinning. At 25, I admit I blinked. At 7:20, a bead of sweat formed. Still, I held my ground. Don't let them see your fear, that's the important thing. I feared for my ankles as I neared the ground, but I kept my eye on the skatometer and braced myself. I would beat Robo Tony Hawk in the Cyber X games. I would land a 2160. Spin, spin, spin. There's a 720. Spin, spin, spin. A 1440. Spin, spin, spin. I did it. I landed the 2160. I beat Robo Tony Hawk. He cried out as his hands turned into knives. Robo Tony Hawk's existential nightmare was over. The world would begin to heal and everyone would know that Robo Tony Hawk is as the robot who lost to me. But at what cost? The curse of Robo Hawk, to be universally known, yet unrecognizable in public, would be its final revenge. Conversely, the curse of Robo Penguin just cursed you to have wings, but be unable to fly. I'll take useless wings. Could be worse. Robo Penguin, you got any other cool shit for me? Robo Penguin squawked and opened their beak cavity to reveal a gun. The prospect of absolute power flashed through my mind. No one ever thought to use a gun. Robo Penguin blasted that fucking weapon at me. He didn't know it was infused with magic ice powers. I could feel it surge through my veins. You fool, I murmured, as literal hell froze over around the two of us. Robo Penguin fell apart, and his fucking laser was drained of its power. Time to go home.
Man.
Wow.
1984.
Yeah?
We did not start with Tony Hawk.
Exactly how I remember 1984. Robo Tony Hawk, Robo Penguin, guns, ice powers.
Yeah.
That was something.
See, if that's what 1984 was like, I would have actually read it in high school.
Good work. Thomas, you are next.
Where's my button? There's my button. Cool. What you want for dinner? We've got some tomatoes and... Are you okay? Oh God, I'm so sorry. It didn't even occur to me. I completely forgot that you're a tomato. I didn't mean it in a racist way, I swear. I'll fix you some mozzarella, okay? But no. The plan was to make sauce all along, and the tomato had no idea what was coming for it. Tomato, can you make some Alfredo sauce? Asked the chef. I don't know. I get cooking stage right, said Tomato nervously. Are you crazy? Shouted Tomato. Only a fool would make Alfredo sauce at a time like this. There are bombs falling on the dining room floor, and you demand Alfredo sauce at this hour? If I don't demand Alfredo, then am I truly human? Who wouldn't want that buttery, creamy perfection at a time like this? I shouted back. Okay, great point, Tomato responded. Yes, but just because you're correct doesn't mean that your tone is appropriate, Bell Pepper interjected. Arugula nodded sagely. Have you considered if your Alfredo wants you? I closed the fridge. Clearly the edibles had hit a bit too hard. I decided to go sit down and write it out with some goldfish crackers from the pantry. I turned on some Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he jumped through the TV. Neil, these edibles are the shit. Can we go float through the Cosmos? Fuck yeah, Neil said. Yeet! Doing drugs and jumping into Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson was the best idea I had all year. Granted, most of the decisions I make were pretty stupid, so the competition wasn't fierce. Man, we were baked. So, anyway, what were you talking about again?
The end.
Wow. Beautiful.
Wow.
The perfect stoner book.
Really?
Ending.
I tried to do to Steven what he did last time with the yeah,
pirate?
I guess. Yeah. but he managed to roll with it, so
And it fit the theme very well.
Yeah.
I got the book, and Chaz had just been giving me shit for giving him an inappropriate prompt, and then he was like, "Have you considered if the Alfredo wants you?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Nope,
Emmy,
haven't considered that."
the most powerful words in this entire book were, "I closed the fridge." That was by far. As soon as I read that, I was like, "This is the best book. This is fantastic."
Alex, was your intention to try to have it like the tomato and the mozzarella be made into some kind of caprese?
Well, tomato and mozzarella go together. That I know.
Yeah.
I just went from there.
Good work, Thomas and all. Our final book is from Brandon.
Tangled in a mess of wires, Private Phil Ein looked at the general, eyes wide in adorable desperation. Mr. General, we've got a little problem, said Phil Ein with a drilled burr. A rocket flew overhead. The rocket zoomed past the skyscrapers and landed right into the city's sewer plant, sending literal shit everywhere. Oh no, the poopers are everywhere! Qumu was absolutely covered in feces. All the animal/human hybrid citizens were adorably shrieking and vomiting everywhere.
Oh, God.
Suddenly I woke up from the worst nightmare I've ever had. I'm not eating shrimp before bed ever again.
Thank
I
you,
took
Haley.
a hard right.
I closed the fridge.
Haley noped out of that scenario.
Yeah, Haley closed the fridge.
At the phrase "whoopalus."
Thank you.
Yeah. I read the first word and I was already dying. I'm like, done with this?
Oh my god.
My wife rolled over and rolled her eyes at me. Well, it would cut down on the cocktail sauce stains on our sheets.
Oh my god.
I was so excited. I jumped out of bed and grabbed the phone. 1-800 man bibs. Yes, I need 2 man bibs, I said, and then slammed the phone back down onto the hook. Soon, bed shrimp.
Mal wrote that?
So good.
Then I filled out an order form and faxed it over to 1-877 Shrimpy. I just needed to survive 6 to 8 weeks in bed without food, and soon enough, I'd be feasting on pink jigglers. But I hadn't realized the contradiction inherent in my desire for shrimp. You see, shrimp are food, and little did I know, but I was about to seal my tomb.
What?
Okay. As I shoved as many of those little fuckers into my mouth and down my throat as I could, I was like a vampire hungry for blood, assured of my destruction, but drowning in the pleasure.
This is, whoa.
My eyes glazed over. How many had it been? Hundreds? Millions? I had no more concept of time or space, nor did they. All became a void, a universal gravitational field, the epicenter. Meh face.
I thought it was I.
No, that was I.
It's I.
Was it a capital I or a lowercase l? It was impossible to tell, and that was how time ended. The universe came to a close with an unanswerable question. Meh face, capital I or lowercase l?
Haley, is this the future you wanted? You steered us away from Whoopalus and suddenly the universe ended.
I'll take this.
Mr. General,
At least we have shrimp.
problem. Ooh.
At least we have shrimp.
Man.
And it came back to the capital I, lowercase l. It came back to that question.
Yeah, so that was funny because at the beginning of this book, and I saw that name, I was like, oh, this must be that book. And then we left it, and I was like, but this is the only book. This has to be it. And then suddenly at the end, it came back again. I was like, oh, there you go.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
This was cursed.
Wow.
Well, you'll get that.
No, the
like
chaos
Private
is the
Sea
chaos is the best part. Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh
The
man.
chaos is the point.
I'm so
God.
proud of us. That was so good.
I'm
Listen,
dialing
listen.
1-800-MAN-BIBS right now.
When you see the road sign for a Whoopalus, you turn that car around and drive away.
Oh,
Drive
man.
into the
boy.
ocean.
This was a
man.
physical journey, and I am
Yeah, that.
I am
I just went
fatigued.
through like all the stages of grief in that.
Thank you all for contributing to this beautiful madness.
You're welcome for our humor. Profit off how funny we are.
And if anyone is watching at home and is like, I would like to do this with my friends, you can at brokenpicturephone.com. Just, where it's like, do you want pictures? Be like, nah. And that's it. It might not use those words.
Who is your favorite character? Mine was Thick Man.
Mine was Thick Baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thick
Thick
Man
Baby
was
was the
fine, but Thick Baby. Thick Baby's where it's at.
I did like Think Man though. The
Drake.
11th hour.
Drake,
11th hour Think Man.
Drake meme.
We will.
Man? No. Thick baby, yes.
Yeah.
We will undoubtedly be back with more Broken Phone because it is
so
fun to
good.
make, and as we have heard, it is fun to watch. So we'll be back with more in the future.